is the Dubplate Special Master.
Live and direct.
Breakfast with CubCamTV.
Trickstar Radio. Trickstar Radio app. Available from the App Store and Google Play. Showcasing the best in underground music from around the world.
Trickstar Radio.
The South Coast's biggest underground music station.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just coming up to around 25 minutes to 9 here, Trickstar Radio. We are back inside the building once again, exploring a ton of different sounds. That last one, Rosca alongside Alicia Lee and Jams, going by the name Do Me Wrong. We're back inside the building as we continue to look through different stories and topics and discussions here on The Breakfast Show. I do very much like diving into these longer, more kind of breakdown-related pieces. And today, we are going to be talking about a topic that is quite close to my heart. Well, two topics that are very close to my heart in regards to Afrobeats and dancehall. Now, these are two genres that I absolutely adore. I grew up listening to dancehall and I very much caught the kind of fever of Afrobeats music over the last sort of 5 to 6 years, and I've been absolutely loving the journey of exploration and kind of learning different sounds and styles, and more than anything else, learning about the artists and their journeys as well. And part of that very, very exciting journey is always collaboration. So I want to talk basically about a trend I've been noticing a fair bit recently, but something that's been going on for a fair few years, and that is a collaborative kind of avenue between Afrobeats music and dancehall music, and primarily the musicians involved on both sides. Now, this comes following on from a very exciting release between two very well-established names, Kiddy from Ghana and Mavado from Jamaica. Again, two very established kind of artists in their own field. Kiddy often drifting into kind of dancehall-related bits, but often siding a lot more alongside the more sort of Afrobeat-centric sound, and Mavado, a sort of dancehall legend in Jamaica. Definitely a name that I really enjoy breaking down. I love breaking him down on CubCamTV. I love breaking all of the stuff that Mavado does down. A regular featurer on the pull-up section here on The Breakfast Show as well. So I basically wanted to get in and have a look at what's going on in regards to these collaborations, because I heard this one and thought, actually, this isn't the first time I've seen this. I've seen a ton of collaborations popping up over the years, and I thought, you know what, let's dive into them, have a look at some of the bigger ones, and basically see whether this trend is a successful trend more than anything else, because from a listener's perspective, there are a lot of similarities in the sounds. You've got the sort of tripleted rhythms which seem to run quite intrinsically through both of them. You've got bass lines being quite a prominent feature as well. The kind of concept of different international flavors going on at the same time. And again, that idea of so many different sort of cultural roots being intrinsically sewn into the genres. And it makes it really interesting. Both are fantastic sounds to play in the dances as well. They're both built around a sort of similar BPM sort of tempo range, which makes mixing them together very exciting. I love mixing them both together. I'm actually playing a Afrobeats and dancehall set this evening at Tropical at Patterns, and that's the one I've been talking about all week. So I want to look at some of these bigger collaborations that we've seen over the years. One of the more recent ones, of course, Cranium and Yemi Alade with My Man. Again, a huge tune. The video for that one's great, and the actual kind of intertwined styling on that one is great. Artists such as Cranium, Conscience, even the likes of Damian Marley have been so good. Popcorn's another one. They've been so good at kind of, I suppose, bridging the gap between the two sounds, and being able to almost alternate their style to kind of fit a lot more onto the more, I want to say, kind of shuffling rhythms of a typical Afrobeat sound, whereas dancehall tends to be a bit stricter on those triplets. It tends to be a lot more kind of tight in regards to the rhythms. Another big one that we've seen recently, of course, The Fanatics, which also features Idris Elba, Lil TJ, Davido, Coffee, and Mo Logo. A huge international link-up, this one, that goes by the name Vroom. Again, very much diving down a space between Afrobeats and dancehall. The sort of synthesizer sounds are very dancehall related, but the rhythms a lot more kind of Afrobeats related. Again, it's that idea that these sounds cross over so nicely. Another big one from a few years back, Major Lazer with Loyal. Again, Major Lazer primarily associated with a much more kind of dancehall influence sound, featuring Kids Daniel and Cranium. Again, this kind of intertwined styling working really nicely. Cranium with Can't Believe It, that one featuring Ty Dolla $ign and Wizkid. Again, the sort of American encroaching sort of sound has been happening for a while, and this is a great example of that. Vibes Cartel and Wizkid from a few years back. Again, Wine to the Top, a big link up. And again, a lot of the kind of Afrobeats artists that are doing very well now, i.e. the Wizkids, the Burna Boys, have tried their hand at dancehall over the years. We've heard them in that sort of dancehall kind of realm. Pata Ranking's a great example of someone who has kind of not necessarily pioneered, but has really pushed a much more kind of African sounding approach to dancehall forward, which works really nicely. Obviously, a big collaboration from the last couple of years has been Wizkid with Blessed alongside Damian Marley, a legend of both reggae and dancehall, and one of the biggest artists in the world for Afrobeat, specifically in Wizkid. Wizkid. A huge link up that one off Made in Lagos, which was Wizkid's, of course, most recent album, and a very, very well-respected album as well. Davido's been involved with this as well. He teamed up with Popcorn a few years ago for Risky, and we also seen it go back the other way with Popcorn hosting Dunrich, which then goes on to feature Davido as well. So again, this is a link up we've been seeing for a long period of time, and I'm looking through this list, and there aren't many tunes on here that I don't think are bangers. Like, the majority of them are tunes that sound very, very solid. They come across very well, and they definitely hold their weight in their respective zone. So it has been really exciting putting this list together. A name that often gets left out of these lists as well, Fuse ODG. He teamed up with Sean Paul, another legend of dancehall music. That one, Dangerous Love, a huge tune. More recently, we saw Conscience teaming up with Afrobeats for Vibrate as well. Obviously, Tamaya's teamed up with Sean Paul as well. That one on the official Bum Bum remix, which is huge. And then, of course, we've seen Coffee regularly covering Ye from Burna Boy, which is a huge collaboration. I think she plays it on tour all the time. It's one of those kind of covers that she always runs. And we know that Coffee is collaborating with a lot of Afrobeats artists at the moment in a studio setting. So that's why I really wanted to put this list together of just tracks that almost bridge that gap between two very, very culturally rich sounds, but also sounds that do very well in the dances and happen to be very closely aligned on a tempo sort of level. Dancehall tends to be between sort of 85 and 105, and Afrobeats tends to be between around 85 and 110. So you've got this kind of range where both of them fit into, and it makes sense to me in dances to actually intertwine them. And I tell you what, if you do head down to Patterns this evening, you're going to be seeing a lot of that from me, because that's what I want to do. I want to get into this evening's show. We are going to be filming the entire show as well. We're going to be getting all the audio sorted for it, so you're going to be able to watch back some of these kind of intertwining motions later on, and I cannot wait. I literally cannot wait. And actually putting this list together has put a lot more excitement into that scenario. So don't forget, people, Tropical tonight down at Patterns. I believe it is free entry if you apply for one of the tickets as well. I know they've shifted a lot of tickets already. I was surprised at how many tickets they've actually shifted. So yeah, do make sure you head down to that one this evening, kicking off at 11, I believe. But there we go. We are going to get into the track that actually inspired this list next, though. Brand new from Kiddy and Movado. A very uplifting tune, this one, full of energetic flavour, just niceness more than anything else. The whole feel of this track has just a very kind of uplifting, very overarchingly I'm just trying to think of the best way to describe it. Just happiness is a tune that comes out of this one, and it's all about intertwining the styles. Let's get into it. The sounds of Kiddy alongside Movado. Very excited for this one. It goes by the name Blessed, and it's about feeling blessed in who you are and what you're doing. Let's go.
Let them know. I am blessed. I never fear no man, even though I walk
what?
The valley of death. Let them know. They can't touch my destiny.
This is Breakfast with COVID, bringing you their morning flavours on Trickstar Radio.
Trickstar Radio.